Good afternoon. There have been an ungodly amount of uproars about the problems that seem to be happening with the Galaxy Fold. Particularly the fact that only 4 devices out of the, from my understanding, 12 that have been released to reviewers. People are making a huge mountain out of what should be a really tiny molehill. Contrary to what I would have suspected Apple to respond with, Samsung said, and I'm reading from a quote from theirs, "A limited number of early Galaxy Fold samples were provided to media for review. We have received a few reports regarding the main display on the samples provided. We will thoroughly inspect these units in person to determine the cause of the matter." I'm gonna stop there. This is contrary to the either, "Oh, it's just not happening," or "it's your fault" bullshit that Apple seems fond of feeding its customers when problems with their products arise. When they say a limited number, 12 is a limited number. And when they say a few reports, to my knowledge, so far 4 phones have had this issue. And whether that's 4 or 6, it's still a few. They're not fluffing up the amount of phones that are having issues. They're not trying to be like, no, we're perfect, we can't make mistakes. They're saying, hey, we've heard about it, we're looking into it, we're gonna personally inspect these things, and then continue from there. Samsung goes on to say that separately, a few reviewers reported having removed the top layer of the display, causing damage to the screen. The main display on the Galaxy Fold features a top protective layer, which is part of the display structure designed to protect the screen from unintended scratches. Removing the protected layer or adding adhesives to the main display may cause damage. We will ensure this information is clearly delivered to our consumers. This reinforces how Samsung handled their last big problem with the Galaxy Note 7, is they released it and then they found that there was definitely a problem. And then they're like, okay, yeah, we know about it. We're gonna tell everybody that they need to look out for this, that, and the other, and we're gonna handle it accordingly. Unlike the way Apple decides to handle a lot of their PR issues or device issues by just saying, you're folding it wrong. However, there are there are a couple reports of people who did not take away that seemingly removable screen protector part and who are still having issues. And to be fair, one of the reviewers stated that he saw no literature saying that he should not take that screen protector off, but he did not see any indicators that he should leave it on either. US carrier T-Mobile has already stated that they are working on fixes or finalizing fixes to remedy this problem. And a huge thing to keep in mind for those who are so quick to judge is that the ones that were sent to the reviewers were not fully ready. Like, they weren't production units. They weren't 100% ready. They were like pre-production, like prototypes, which makes total sense because if I was Samsung and I was sending, you know, a $1,900 device out to reviewers that may or may not handle it accordingly, we've got prototypes, let's send them those, and then, you know, something else happens and we can kind of work out the kinks later. During one of the teardowns, actually, one of the 2 batteries said TBD MAH, which means to be determined milliamp hours. And that's a further indicator that all the ones that were sent to the reviewers were pre-production models, because it didn't even show the milliamp hour rating on one of the other batteries. So they're like, man, we don't even know what label to put on this other battery, but here's the phone, enjoy it, tell us what you think. It's a further indication that the ones sent to the reviewers were actually pre-production models, ones that weren't actually ready for prime time, which makes the screen issues that are happening more understandable. Do they need to fix it? Yeah, sure, whatever. Obviously, duh. But it's not like they're like, hey everybody, we're gonna send, you know, 100% ready to go units to reviewers, and then, oh shit, this stuff's happening here, here, and there. It's more like, hey, we got some that are left over from when we first started putting them out. Let's give them these, and if they like them, and if they don't, they don't. In addition, Samsung still intends to launch the Galaxy Fold on schedule, which, given their track record on how well they take care of problems like these that garner a whole shitload of public attention, which in my opinion is very much, or for the most part, unwarranted in this situation. Everything's just like blowing up. There's like so many articles here and here and here and here and here and here and here about this is breaking, this is breaking, this is breaking, this is breaking, it's not good, it's catastrophic failure, don't buy it. It again suggests that they're like, hey, we know these things are happening. We will take care of it. we'll keep you updated. To those who are considering or have considered buying this in the past, and then in light of all these articles that are coming up saying you shouldn't, my advice to you, and this is the same advice that I would take if I was in a financial position to purchase it myself, wait and see. Wait until it launches, at least, and then maybe a week or so afterwards, and if these same issues are not plaguing it, even I'm like caught up in the hype that people have generated over 4 devices that are having screen issues, but if it's still causing an issue with the Galaxy Fold, then maybe wait another week. I don't know. Point being, foldable phones are definitely coming. Samsung's put in the work for it. Unlike some other companies that decide to sit back and wait and let everybody else do the hard work and let everybody get their hands dirty, take the risks, pioneer these things, fix the problems that come up, and then after gathering all that knowledge that they did not earn, come out with something being like, hey everybody, look what we did. That's a bullshit way of doing things. I don't care what you say, I think it's one of the reasons why I hate Apple. Wait to see what happens. I'm confident that whatever the issues may be, whatever's causing these phones to act up like this, number one, they aren't even finished. And number two, just wait. They'll fix it. They're coming. My shirt's on inside out. Myself and Phoebe here would also like to thank the Scotties on Patreon, the ones that pledge $10 or more per month, and those are Stuart Glover, Robert Bitter, Ilando Cibro Paracord Design, Joe Schmo, Jared Elder Studios, Romaine Roberts, Derek D, Ian Lewis, Paul A. Donnelly, Teddy the Dog, Mario Torres, Jatinder Lal, Anthony Jackson, Eric Price, Stephen Nichols, Nick Hawks, Sin O, Unit Omega, and Christopher Caswell.
I stay with my Scotties. My Scotties are my boys. I ride with them. And I put that on the generation.
Next we have the Super Beamers, the ones that pledge $5 a month, and those are Colin House, SolarStar81, and we have a new one! Welcome, Stephen Cameron. Thank you so much for being here, man. And then Paradox and Grant Stockton. Last but most certainly not least, we have the Beamers, the ones that pledge $1 per month, and those are Encrypted Bunny, Rob Ralston, Vincent Papineau, Spidget, Jamie Ives, Roman Van Rookhuizen, Nicholas Clark, David Larson, Elixir, and Rico the 13th. Don't make the mistake of thinking Samsung will fold under these pressures, and stay beaming.